Welcome back to Happy in 15. This is part 2 of the Cargotec interview, so if you haven't yet listened to part 1, please go and do that. But today, we're going to dive really into the culture and Cargotec's journey, because getting into a human-centric IT is really not a sprint, but more like a marathon or a long journey. It's very easy to start, and I think hearing from a real customer and their example helps you to understand maybe how you can do it in your organization as well. So let's hear today from Nina about their journey to experience management culture. Okay, then on top of this framework, we also have this maturity curve. And especially with our sales summit, we always talk about it, that you first need to have continuous measurement. You obviously are there now. You're not there just with the tickets, but you are with all the IT stuff that you are providing, with all the touch points. Then the next thing is the sharing. Where do you think you are now in the sharing? We were discussing that now you are sharing it with the IT, you're sharing with maybe some of the partners. Do you think that there's still something that you could do better in the sharing part? Or do you think that that's like you are pretty mature now on showing the data, everybody having access to the data?
Maybe more on the business side.
Yeah.
To get more understanding there, and maybe for us to understand more the business, reading the data from the business perspective.
Yeah, true, because now you probably understand it from your side point of view, but then what would be the thing that the business side persons would be looking at it, how they would interpret that?
And there comes in also the persona thinking, understanding their needs of different people having different roles. So you cannot have like the same service for a person sitting in the office and the person who is there on the road.
On the field work,
So understanding maybe that kind of data more.
Yeah. Then the next step is probably something that is quite hot topic now, is then target setting. And target setting usually means experience level agreements, so XLAs. We have some customers who have now done that jump there, and there's people coming talk to us like, okay, this is now where I want to go, but do you think that you could jump directly to XLAs if you wouldn't
Probably it needs some journey to go there.
Yeah.
So
where are you now, at Cargotec, where are you now in this XLA journey? Is it in your mind? Is it something you're thinking about, or how do you see
It's like being talked about a bit.
Yeah.
And so we are very in the beginning of the journey.
Yeah.
So
what do you think might be the moment when you can concretely start to think about putting
maybe
XLAs
if you
into
have
place?
some contracts or something being redone or renewed, so then there's some opportunities to rethink maybe the traditional SLA thinking and
now when you have data from, let's say, 5 years, even like we would have data from 6 months, now it would be possible to actually have that conversation with your vendors and partners and internally in IT. So what is an XLA?
Yes.
What can we commit to? Where can we set a target? If you wouldn't have any of this baseline and the data, already understood, it would be just impossible to pretty much go there.
So you have some data to be able to lie back on, basically.
Yeah. And then, I think the ultimate thing in the maturity is then this, that like the whole culture would be about experience.
Yes.
Mainly thinking, is it something that I think now with the small group, you are already pretty much there, that you are talking about it.
Yes.
But there's probably a lot of people still that
it's not part of their daily work anyways.
Exactly.
So I think then you just need to communicate more, and maybe it will come in different aspects. So you will maybe, it's not only XLAs as a measurement, but also like overall user experience is like a hot topic where you try to think more from a end user perspective and not always from IT perspective. And so it's that type of discussions is going on all the time.
Okay. Do you see that maybe even in some projects that you start doing, that the outcome, what is the outcome for the experience? Is it already been like part of the discussion? Have you seen that it's somehow
I think
been
it is.
there?
When you usually, like if we talk about some exit processes or new hiring processes, so maybe before you were thinking quite process orientated and how the technical technically
exactly.
it would work, and now it's more maybe like service design and thinking from the end user. A bit backwards.
Yeah,
basically.
kind of. It maybe earlier it was like if we have people, process, technology.
Yeah,
it was about the technology and the processes.
Yes.
And now you also have brought already the people part into thinking on the project outcomes.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's great. Yeah.
At least we are thinking about
exactly.
it.
Yeah, but it's
that's
again,
a process, I suppose.
Yeah, and
that you need to.
And it just takes time. That's like the whole point.
Yeah,
all our customers say that it's just like it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it's taking time.
Yeah. Excellent. Hey, what if we would now take HappySignals away tomorrow? How would you feel at work? I mean, how would it impact?
Well, of course we are quite dependent also on where we are doing the ticket measurement. So we have our processes tied to the measurement in that way about the closing of tickets and everything, and we have clear processes with the providers how to manage the feedback. So then it would mean that we would need to start from scratch, finding out ways to understand.
Would it be difficult to know if did we do a good job now? Like if you wouldn't have that data anymore.
I think it would be more assumptions.
Yeah. Going back to a little bit this gut feeling type of.
Yes.
And not having the data-driven model that you have now.
And this watermelon effect that we are talking about all the time,
True.
which is actually in the ticket data, it is still there a bit, but with IT experience, it makes it maybe more visible.
True.
Because sometimes it's really related only to the ticket, but now you get more the overall, more visible the watermelon effect maybe with the IT experience.
Yeah. Well, any learnings like your peers listening to this interview and who are thinking about this journey, like now if you would start again from the scratch, like after 5 years, any learnings that you would like to share with your peers in other companies? Like what would you maybe do differently, or where would you put more focus on the next time?
Maybe communication, the traditional answer, but communicating more and maybe learning or getting the people to know the tool better.
Yeah.
Because for us it's really obvious what is there, because we are daily working with the data, but somebody who's just looking at the dashboard, it might seem a bit difficult. So maybe a bit more learning and then communicating about the trainings and engaging, and then maybe also having the whole feedback management process like in place already when you implement the actual tool. So not just taking in the data, but also have something ready how to analyze it.
True, because that's also something we usually say, that the measurement part is quite easy thing.
Yes.
So like pretty much you install a product and so you start to get data. But then if you don't have a way of what are we going to do with it?
And there you need to engage the providers, so it's taking time. So some providers maybe are not used to that kind of process. So having that ready would really make your journey like more productive in a shorter time.
Yeah, cool. Hey, thank you, Nina. This was a great interview, and it's been awesome to see your journey and also now continue the journey with you. Now with all these different IT areas, so it's going to be amazing to see what you're going to come up with that.
Thank you. It was nice to be here.
Cool. So I hope you enjoyed Cargotec's story. So what you can take from this is that they used our experience management framework. So first starting to measure everything that you have so that you really understand the end user's needs. Then when you start sharing that data with all the people in the IT, with the business stakeholders, you can start to understand where the real problem is. Not really just having the gut feeling, but really understanding from data that this is where we should focus on. And identifying those really the focus areas, you can make big improvements. And this, I think, is really the key of the experience management framework. And if there's any other questions or you feel like could it be done differently, please engage us in the social media. You can send us questions through Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever is your preferred media. And then also, if you want to learn more, you can go to happysignals.com/learning center, where we have small bite-sized videos for you to learn more on how to take your organization to the experience management journey. I really hope you enjoy these 2 parts, and let us know if you want to hear more cool customer stories. Thank you. See you again.